Hi. After watching the video, click the link in the description to download the program.
I've been free of benign prostate hyperplasia, BPH, for just over 2 years now. It was touch and go at one point, though. I was increasingly unable to urinate properly. At one point, I got horribly close to having a catheter fitted. The thought of attaching a plastic bag to my body so I could pee just horrified me. Can you imagine such a thing? But my BPH had been disrupting my sleep for years, which left me tired, less able to focus, and occasionally very irritable. To be honest, at times, it left me feeling a little low about life in general. And in the back of my mind, I always knew that the end game for BPH can be surgery on the gland itself, which my doctor described as, we insert a tube through the tip of your penis. I stopped him right there. Anyway, it never came to surgery, or a catheter, thank goodness. Just over 2 years ago, I got the all clear. My prostate had shrunk back down to the size you'd expect in a healthy 25-year-old. I was 57 at the time, so that was great news. Just as important, though, I know how to make sure my prostate never enlarges ever again. I'm never going to be back in that nasty situation I was back then. So let me tell you how this happened. If you want to return an enlarged prostate to its correct size, you can. Here's what I did. Simple steps back to full prostate health. So, a disclaimer. I'm not some health wizard or medical genius who discovered a secret remedy for BPH. I'm an ordinary Joe who's driven a bus for the last 35 years. But as my prostate problem slowly worsened, I grew increasingly scared of where it would all end. I started visiting online health forums to see if there was any other way of reliably tackling this condition. And it turns out there is. I stumbled on a conversation with some ex-BPH sufferers who'd taken a completely natural path out of their prostate misery. They'd got shot of BPH by following a simple set of instructions that ignored BPH symptoms and, instead, tackled the condition at its very source. I was skeptical. I'm actually a big believer in doctors, not alternatives. But despite my doctor's best efforts, I was still ill and likely to stay that way. Whereas these people had become well again, which is something I wanted more than anything else. So I decided to do what they did. They followed a program called the Prostate Protocol. It was created by a highly respected alternative health practitioner called Scott Davis. I got my copy that day. The result? I no longer have BPH either. It's gone. Let me tell you exactly how that happens. Why the prostate can be shrunk. Scott Davis's The Prostate Protocol takes a logical, no-frills approach to defeating BPH. Consider this. Your prostate was normal-sized once, whereas it's not now. It's too big. But there's a reason it's too big. It didn't just happen. Something caused it to be enlarged. Now, we have long known that hormonal imbalances in a man cause the prostate to grow out of control. In particular, if you have an enlarged prostate, then right now your estrogen and testosterone hormones are way out of balance. For us men, these critical hormones must be in sync at all times. Otherwise, it's unavoidable. Things will go wrong for us. For as long as your hormones stay like this, you'll always have BPH. Unfortunately, we've never actually known why that hormonal imbalance is happening, which is why BPH treatments are so unreliable. Without solid knowledge about actual causes, our doctors are forced to make guesses about what might work for us. To get shot of BPH, we need to straighten out the hormone problem. But how do you do that if you don't know what messed them up in the first place? Well, that's what has changed, because we now do know what leads to our hormones going so out of whack. And knowing this is the key to how my prostate and the prostate glands of thousands of other men have shrunk back to their normal sizes. How we shrink the prostate. The hormonal imbalance that leads to BPH is caused first of all in the gut. Yes, the gut. I thought that was weird too when I first heard it. But here's the thing. Human gut bacteria has been with us since the dawn of time. It doesn't just keep us healthy, it keeps us alive. It turns out there are hundreds of types of bacteria. Each type has its own jobs to do. Medical scientists and research institutions across North America, Europe, and Asia have independently confirmed the astonishing work that our gut bacteria does for us. And the research they are conducting on bacteria treatments for many of the Western world's most dangerous diseases is producing revolutionary outcomes for very sick patients. The proven fact is that, when they're healthy and plentiful, our gut bacteria are literally the difference between life and death for us. They minimize inflammation, protect us from heart and kidney disease, manage our weight, regulate our cholesterol, stabilize our blood sugars, keep our moods consistent, and perform dozens of other tasks that make our lives possible. And guess what else these little helpers do for us? They regulate, manage, and stabilize male hormones. In particular, they make sure the ratios of estrogen and testosterone are exactly how they need to be. Because as we already know, when these get out of whack, we end up with benign prostate hyperplasia. But here's the problem. These bacteria are delicate. They're not hardy, tough little critters that can withstand any kind of hardship. In fact, they're quite the opposite. They need exactly the right nutrition, the right conditions to thrive. Western diets and lifestyle aren't helpful in this regard at all. It's not your fault or mine. But over the years, our valuable, life-saving gut bacteria is simply dying off, and we're paying a hefty price for that. Which explains why Westerners have heart disease, organ disease, obesity, and a range of metabolic conditions on a scale unheard of in some other parts of the world. Years of slowly killing off our life-giving gut bacteria eventually makes us ill. And BPH is one of the consequences of the onslaught against gut bacteria. BPH is caused by a sick gut bacteria environment, and it simply can't get better until our gut bacteria get better. Fixing gut bacteria. This is where Scott comes in. This is what he specializes in. Scott evaporates stubborn illnesses by tackling head-on the bacterial loss that's causing them in the first place. And put simply, Scott's prostate protocol was my prostate rescue plan. It focuses on the specific bacteria that we need in order to make things right again. I had terrible BPH when I started his prostate protocol. But I did everything Scott told me, and I mean everything. And when I did, my gut bacteria came back to life. And as they did that, they were able to pick up the work they were actually there to do. Over a period of just weeks, my hormones adjusted back to normal. And when that happened, my BPH just didn't stand a chance. My prostate shrunk quickly, and 3 weeks after starting Scott's plan, I got my first full night of uninterrupted sleep. All the way through, no interruptions, no getting up for the bathroom. I felt like I had just been to heaven. The prostate protocol. Your doctor will already have told you that to beat BPH, you must eat good food. That's great advice, but there's a huge problem here. The food those specific bacteria need isn't just any food. Yes, it's food available in supermarkets, so nothing expensive or exotic. But there are specific foods that are supersonic when it comes to re-energizing those depleted bacteria. You already eat some of them, but possibly not often enough. There's also a few foods, generally considered healthy, that you'll have to avoid for a while. We can't guess at this. We've got to get it exactly right. That's what Scott Davis's The Prostate Protocol showed me. He knew exactly what I had to do in order to get well. And when I did it, that's exactly what happened. Which is why I haven't had to get up at night to pee even once in 2 years. Go big to go small. The first few weeks of the prostate protocol do most of the work of shrinking that prostate. It focuses hard on regrowing good, healthy gut bacteria. There's no BPH recovery without those vital helpers. So we major on getting these little guys happy and healthy again. So I ate lots and lots of the specific foods that Scott told me to, and for a few weeks I cut out a few others. We make a big effort in those initial weeks. We want to get on top of this problem quickly. There's no pussyfooting with this. But after that initial big push, we ease right off. The main job is done. Those vital gut bacteria have got exactly what they need, and they respond quickly. From then on, maintaining those healthy, happy bacteria is super easy. What I especially like is that maintaining a normal prostate is not about avoiding foods I love. It's about eating enough of the foods those bacteria love. So I still enjoy my morning coffee. My little helpers are still happy as heck. BPH, the 2 times faster solution. In the prostate protocol, Scott Davis points out that our health-giving gut bacteria are also negatively affected by some everyday factors. For example, they're sensitive to our levels of tiredness and stress. They're also hurt by environmental pollutants. If you want to turbocharge your prostate relief, then you can take these additional considerations into account. It's not essential, though. Eating the right food remains the single biggest factor to restoring your gut bacteria. But if you're in a hurry to say goodbye to BPH, then this part of the program is very easy to follow. I was shocked, in a nice way, at how much more relaxed I became when I practiced Scott's mindful stress management advice. I really liked how it made me feel. Like I say, these additional factors give your BPH effort some extra zip. But if you just follow the food protocol, you're going to be fine.
Click the link in the description to download the program.